Perfect. All right, here we are, the Swampy Sooner podcast, here to talk everything Oklahoma. It was a big day for the University of Oklahoma today, JD. Women's gymnastics national champions yet again. So, hey, there we go. What? Another national championship to add there. So, hey, there you go. OU softball actually lost their first game of the season today, losing to Texas, unfortunately 4-2, but they were celebrating like they won a national championship. But hey, anyone who beats OU in softball this year pretty much is. But hey, Dylan Marsh joined with my brother JD Marsh here, the Swampy Brothers, and we have our visitor here, Boomer. And we have a big week ahead of us. We have the Oklahoma spring game coming up, and we got JD coming up from Louisiana to go to the spring game. And we're going to help pack the Palace, man. And
the Palace. I'm
going to be honest. I don't know if it's going to sell out, but I think there's going to be a crap ton of people there for sure. What would you be happy with the total amount of people out there at Gaylord?
To keep BV happy, or to
just
personally
you
happy?
Personally.
Personally, I think it will be a disappointment if it's less than 5,000.
Less than 5,000?
65.
Oh my gosh! I was about to say, JD. Wow.
No,
5,000. Yeah.
This ain't Texas A&M, Dylan.
Okay. No, I love it. Okay, 65. No, I was going to say around 50. I think would be kind of what I'm expecting, to be honest. But again, the way they've been pushing it this year, it's been a lot more, I guess you can say, promoted than in years past with Riley's program for sure. And again, it's a big thing, right?
Yeah. So, the reason why I say 65 is because the son of OU football, his statue unveiled. So I think that
I'm so stoked about that, dude.
I think that it will attract more than usual. Plus, BV, the fan base will definitely bring a lot. That's why I said 65 is where I set the bar at.
Okay. No, man, I like it. I'm super excited. It's gonna be awesome. Got you coming down for the game. But hey, man, so we got the spring game. So we're gonna be talking about a few things. We're gonna be talking about what positions we're gonna be looking and kind of focusing on throughout the spring game to kind of get an idea of how things have already changed a little bit in the new era with Brent Venables there. But I think there's gonna be a lot of changes, man. I think there's gonna be a lot of changes, and it was kind of a shell shock, with how much different, especially what people inside and people who are going to these practices, because you're actually able to go to practices now, or how aggressive the coaches are. And that's just not even position wise. That's the one thing I'm excited about, is to see if we're going to be able to be a lot more physical, right? Because you can preach physicality, but it's, they're going to have to implement that, right? The players, right? And again, you have these players that were recruited by, Riley and Grinch, and, smaller, not, they get the job done, right? But we kind of seen what they've done in the past. Let's just see if they're actually able to flip that switch to turn the physicality on and just really go exactly what BV and, and really what they're looking for, what Roos defense is going to be looking like there.
I will say this. One thing I'm really excited about is I'm glad to see the Chihuahua stop giving out motivational speeches talking about Roy Manning, and we actually see a pit bull doing the coaching on the field with Jay Blah.
Yeah. So you mean like so you're talking about a coach that's literally in there, showing them exactly what to do besides just yelling what to do.
I love that, and I love the fact that Jay Blah is actually working one-on-one with each cornerback and defensive back, their strength and their weaknesses. Players have different body types. He knows how to put them in the right position. How many times were we this close to getting a pick, this close to getting a sack, this close to getting a tackle for a loss? those things make difference. Put your players in the best position, and you'll get the best results.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think a big thing there is, again, not talking about position players, but talking about I guess you can just throw in the coaching aspect of it here, right? Kind of what you're saying is get the players where they need to be, really changing the culture, right? And it just, as we've seen this week, things coming out with Stogner and Rattler getting interviewed over at the real USC out in South Carolina,
Yes, sir.
who really saying it was just pretty much toxic the entire season because of what Riley was doing. Rattler pretty much saying that he doesn't understand why he was benched because they were undefeated. The Caleb came in, took over, but then the whole LSU rumors, all that, and he literally used the word toxic. And one thing I just thought was interesting is, like, usually I hate gossip. I hate, like celebrity stuff, right? Things that, considered gossip. But when Spencer Rattler said, well, there's going to be more to this, there will be a story for later, right? Which means I'm actually really excited to hear kind of what went down, because these players aren't going to say anything that's going to ruin the draft stock, right? They're not going to sit there and rat out on coaches. But when that time comes, I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a shell shock for us, even 7 years down the line. We're going to be like, whoa, okay, like, we saw it coming, but we were just kind of waiting for it. But
I'll say this, because you know me, I'm in the crowd that thinks that Lincoln Riley had his foot out the door even before the Tulane game. He was searching for somewhere else. But speaking on Stogner and Rattler, I wish them the best. They contributed the most that they could
out there in the East.
But it really does make me think that, because of all the talent last year, now we have toxic relationship about the program. It keeps pointing in the same direction, that this guy had a plan all along to kind of throw the season so he can get out there as quickly as possible.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know about that. I think the whole, I wouldn't be shocked if it probably had something to do with, the starting off, like what they were saying on Prayer in a Pod was, they were undefeated, but they didn't feel like they were undefeated, right? Like they weren't proud of what they were doing. It was just stressful the entire time. And I feel like that kind of had something to add to it. It just didn't seem like a lot of people wanted to be there, right? Especially, and I think that might have gone to the coaching, to the players. Even Stogner said that even if Lincoln stayed, he was going to leave. He literally said that in the article with Chris Lowe, that's how bad it got. And that's kind of hard to think. Like, you see all these people leave and everyone's thinking it's because of Riley, but then you have, one of the best tight ends, sit there and say, it doesn't matter who's the coach. I was going to leave anyway because of what happened this season. So who knows why people left, right? We know why freaking Mario Williams and Latrell left. It was because they wanted to follow him. But then you had all these other people, just bounce out. It wasn't because of Riley. I think they were planning to leave anyway after the season. But we're done talking about Riley, JD. Okay,
please, I'm sick and tired of talking about him.
Yeah, no, it just organically comes up. I hate it. So,
and even icing on the cake with that is watching how embarrassing it is. That I'm just so glad he's gone, because you have him making bets with players and losing, and then forced to do up downs by his players. Like, I don't see any respect that team has given Lincoln Riley for that, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think that kind of builds camaraderie, but I think what's even better is when you see our coach, Brent Venables, literally doing push-ups with the team without having to lose a bet, just doing push-ups with the team, sitting out there, like coaching linebackers. That's one thing I was super excited about. And it's definitely one of the things I was going to talk about today. So let's kind of jump into the spring game, right? Because we're going to be entering. This is the first thing going into BV's new era. So, yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Do you think that he's going to have his microphone at the spring game?
You would think, because it's still technically a practice.
Yep.
But we're talking about practice, not a game. But but practice.
Hold up.
Yeah, a little AI for the older folks out there. Dude, I freaking hope so. Like, I
That would
hope
be
so.
hilarious.
But there's a bunch of different things that I'm looking forward to. So let's just jump right in here. All right. So we'll go offense, defense, and dude, we have all night. Right. So let's talk about this, man. Let's just kind of just talk about whatever we want. And I'm going to start off with not positions, but again, coaching. And a big thing is definitely something that a lot of people are going to be keeping an eye on is how well BV is going to do as a head coach and not a coordinator, and letting, Ted Roof take over as the DC and kind of just manage the game and the team overall and not just one aspect. I think that's going to be interesting. Like, is he going to be a lot more focused when the defense is on the field, or, is it going to be a little bit, I don't know. It's going to be a transition. That's something I'm going to be interested in. So I don't know if he's going to have a microphone on for that. I don't know if, you know how all these things are when they have microphones on, they are required to cut a bunch of stuff out. And BV seems like a real stand-up guy, but I'm sure there's a lot of things said he doesn't want to be heard. So,
Yeah.
especially how like aggressive and like high energy that guy is. But that's the number one thing I'm interested in seeing. Even if it's just for a glorified practice to kind of see how he does with that.
Yep.
But JD, let's go. I'm going to let you start. You keep going, and we'll just keep rolling. And
so are we doing
jumping in.
just positions? Right?
Yeah, like it can just be any position. I don't have
right.
like a whole bunch like one at each position or anything.
For defense, the main position that I'm going to be focusing on is the secondary, and I'm going to be looking for how physical they are, how well in position they are for passes. And apparently Dylan Gabriel is very accurate, so we'll see how well they are able to be put in to the right position. And hopefully they're very physical. I want to see the offense not be able to move the ball at all. That's what I personally want to be able to see, is our defense is so physical and relentless that the offense isn't able to do anything.
Yeah, for sure. No, and that was definitely one of the things I had on here was the defensive backs. And again, like what we talked about earlier, when I was talking about the defense being aggressive, I was mainly speaking of the defensive backs secondary, because we've seen how they've been the past like 10 years pretty much, right? Smaller, diving at people's legs and just getting stiff armed, right? But one thing about the defensive backs is definitely the newcomers coming in. Robert Spear Jennings out of Broken Arrow coming in safety. I know he's going to be a freshman, so we might not see too much out of him this year. But this game's definitely going to give us an idea of what these kids can actually do, but then also what they're going to be able to do when they're a lot stronger, more mature, stuff like that. So I'm really excited about Robert Spear Jennings and Gentry Williams for sure. The two Tulsa products.
The main person I'm interested in watching in the secondary is Trey Morrison, the transfer from North Carolina, having a veteran leader in that secondary. Hopefully he'll be able to come in and show the guys the right way of doing things and be a leader, and hopefully that will translate to the fall.
Yeah, for sure. And I already know one person. I think stuff you're going to say, so I'm going to save that for you. But so I'm going to go ahead and say the defensive end positions, right? Ethan Downs, all that. But then one person's name I'm seeing a lot, the other Hawaiian transfer, Jonah Laulu, I think is how you pronounce his name. Jonah Laluhu. Yeah, Laluhu. Yes, okay, perfect, whatever. But this is what BV is looking for in his defensive tackles, right? 6'5", 272 pounds, very long, very athletic. Seeing what he can do, because we honestly haven't really had someone like that. Like Isaiah Thomas was about that size, but I will say Grinch probably didn't utilize them the way that they probably should with that length. So I'm excited to see how Jonah does in this defense here. So, but really that, and then I'm hearing some really good things out of Ethan Downs, like the heart the kid has and the weight that he's put on. the strength. So, hey, we'll see.
Well,
I'm not exactly sure what to expect from him. I'm just excited to see what he can do against our offensive line on Saturday. Hey, is that Boomer or Gumbo?
That is Gumbo.
Gumbo. You don't belong in this one. We need Boomer up here.
Yeah. The main defensive lineman that I'm just excited for in this defensive scheme is going to be Jalen Redmond. He showed promise in the Grinch system and I think he's going to just fly off the radar in BV system. So
yeah. Then you also have Redmond. I think that was a given, right? And I think a lot of people are excited about that. Definitely in the shadow of Winfrey last year, Redmond was, but you also have Reggie Grimes. He's
that's another one.
Out for another 6'4", 266 defensive end there. But Jay, anything else on defense that you're really going to be like? Even if it's going to be certain players, it doesn't have to be actual positions, sets anymore. It's just kind of just discuss everything.
Want to see how fast Kanak is, or Kanik. My bad, Kanik.
I was about to say that's your boy. I knew you were going to bring him up.
And Kobe McKenzie.
That's the guy I'm looking forward to because I feel like Jaron Kanak. I think
Kanik.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be annoying. But Jaron Kanik, I feel like we already know what this dude's made of. Like, I'm not saying I know what we're going to get, but I know what he's made of, right? And with how fast he is, how strong, how big the dude already is at age, like, what is he, 18, 19 years old? But Kobe McKenzie is a guy I definitely want to keep an eye out for because he's already a fan favorite, sitting there doing these Twitter spaces and kind of just getting in, recruiting, all that, and just really being part of Sooner Nation this early on. This Kobe McKenzie, Jaron Kanik, I feel like those two, if they're able to stick around all 4 years, we're going to have probably the best linebacking core in college football if they live up to what their high school hype was for sure.
It really reminds me of if, say, Kobe McKenzie, Kanik, and Stutzman, all seniors.
Yep.
I can see it being with Schmitty as the strength coach. I could really see it being similar to the USC linebacker core they had in the early 2000s with Clay Matthews, Brian Cushing, and that whole bunch. It could be very close to that, and that would be great to have.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing about that too is that you have Stutzman, but then we also have Deshaun White, being the 5th-year senior, being able to really kind of just help get them through, this year, kind of teach them, let them learn a little bit and really just let them go later on. But even on the secondary aspect, when I was bringing up Williams and Spears Jennings, all that, one person who I was looking at the roster, I completely forgot about this dude. We got Justin Broyles coming back. And I was like, oh, Lord, okay. See, that got me even more excited. So I'm really excited about him. But that's pretty much everything I have on the defensive side.
One thing about Justin Broyles is the thing about Justin Broyles is I'm still shaking my head at the LSU performance when he got burnt crispily by Justin Jefferson. But
dude, I can't blame him for that.
I can't either, but still, it just still sticks with me. But I'm all about giving the dude a second chance. So come on,
dude, you have to, man. But it's like
things I've been hearing, he's been a great leader so far, and I love it. Keep it up, man. Prove me wrong. That's all I gotta say. Prove me wrong, please.
It's just insane what that defense had to go up against LSU. Like, I'm just gonna say it, like. Even Alabama kind of had that same problem with
Georgia had that same problem.
Everybody had that same problem. So I don't even want to hear anything about that LSU game because everyone had that problem.
They didn't give up 7 touchdowns in the first half.
Well, yes, Jitty, I understand. But we were definitely the best team they ever played that year. Like because it's just you couldn't do anything with our defense and our size against their size of even just receivers. So
Yeah.
I hate talking about it. I hate it. I missed like 4 of those first round touchdowns, thank God, because of a tornado warning that day.
Well, I
hiding in
wish
the
I would have
closet,
been.
but
I wish I would have been with you because I had a tornado around me with 15 LSU fans. I was the only OU fan there.
yeah,
They were
yeah.
taking shots for every touchdown pass that Joey B threw.
Well, hey, 7 shots, that's a good time, right? So,
Yeah.
But hey, man, awesome. So, defensive side there, I'm going to flip it over to the offensive side. And I'm just going to start off with this because, of course, we got Dylan Gabriel. Everyone's excited for him, but I think everyone's seen Dylan Gabriel play because UCF is they've kind of been a team just to kind of watch, right? Because they've always been fun, so everyone kind of knows who Dylan Gabriel is. But the
Yeah.
quarterback that I'm going to be watching is I really hope we get to see a lot of Nick Evers in the spring game. The freshman coming in out of Flower Mound because we got Ralph Rucker, and people are saying he's probably going to be the backup just because, Nick's young, right? Yeah. And Ralph's served his time. But from what I can hear, this dude is fast. Like, he's fast and got a freaking cannon. He's fast. He makes fast people look not fast, right? So, but he's also got a cannon of an arm. I've heard he's working hard and that he's a very intelligent guy. So I'm really excited for Nick Evers. Wouldn't be shocked if he ends up being like the number 2, so at some point this year, right? But I'm excited to see kind of what he does. I'm sure we'll see a little bit of him there. But who are you looking forward to on the offensive side on Saturday?
The whole offensive line. I want to see how Wanye Morris looks after just a winner with Schmitty. I'm looking to see if they are violent again. Back here, we had the Joe Moore Ward winning offensive line where we are
every single
literally
one of them is still in the NFL, I think, starting.
Making was it a girl that was playing for Texas that time that they just kept slamming around, or what was his name?
Oh yeah, no one remembers his name, dude. We just remember the picture, the video of him talking crap and him just getting thrown down every single time
by Cody Ford. Yeah, so I'm just
remember his name.
That's the main thing I think. But
Breckers?
That's the main position on offense I'm looking forward to, because as everybody knows, it all starts in the trenches. And if you have a dominant offensive line, you're going to be able to move the football. So I'm looking forward to seeing how violent our offensive line is.
For sure. And it's going to be vital to my next part here, which is another huge, again, like the offensive line starts everything in every single offense, right? But from what I've been hearing, the running back core is going to be probably behind the quarterback, of course, the most important aspect of Levy's offense that he's bringing in. So, of course, we got Eric Gray. Everyone's talking about how he's going to be the starter. This guy can catch the football. He's very elusive in the backfield. Hopefully this dude can break out and not be behind the shadow of, Brooks and, all that, right? So I'm excited for him because I remember when he was trying to score his first touchdown and kept getting tackled within the 5-yard line every single time. Man, I felt so bad for him.
The main running back I'm looking forward to watching is Javonte Barnes.
Yeah.
Big physical back. Already looks like he's a junior in college already.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
I think that by the end of this upcoming season, he might be our go-to running back. I really feel it coming.
Dude, I just hope, because he's been really outspoken about how he didn't feel like he fit into Riley's offense very well. But Marcus Major, man, like, we've seen how this dude looks and we've seen how powerful he is, but let's see if Levy can do something with that, right? So, and again, Barnes is someone I think we're all going to be looking forward to, especially in the future. But I don't know, dude. Marcus Major, 1, the size, 2, the name. That's a freaking football name right there. So if that dude can kind of get to the next level just with his name alone, I think can give him just a lot of attention as well.
Honestly, I'm
really looking forward to him.
I would not be mad at all if we have a 3-headed monster at running back. The main reason why I'm so excited about Javonte Barnes is the fact you stop following me in the back, man? But the main reason why I'm so excited about Javonte Barnes is the sole fact that from the podcast on the Prairie, they say he is already the size of Ramondre Stevenson.
Mm-hmm. You know,
and whew,
I just hope we can have like, again, I don't think we're ever gonna have another combo like Mix and Pirine. But what did, correct me if I'm
Evan
wrong.
Shawchuk too, man. We got a stable
well,
field.
See, man, I really wish we could see that dude play this week. But
I know, but he ain't coming till after high school.
No, dude, freaking DeMarco Murray is putting in work, bro. Like, he really is.
Hey, he can't recruit though. You remember?
No, I'm not gonna lie, he's definitely stepped it up, man.
I was never part of that crowd, man. That crowd, they could just get on somewhere with that.
For sure. But another freshman that I'm looking for just to see. I want to see how he is, right? New tight end coming in, Caden Helms out of Nebraska. 6'5", 221. But from what I can tell, is not very strong. So it's like, this dude is going to be more of like a receiver, right? But like in the future, if he can get, a lot more weight on him, this dude can be pretty dangerous, right? Just be like all the other OU tight ends we've had. But just highly recruited, very highly recruited. And I think Caden Helms coming in, I would love to see just what he can do in the spring game, just to see, like, because I've actually never seen any game film or anything of this kid. I've just heard a lot about him. So I'm really looking forward to that. But then also, I think another thing on offense is, of course, it's but Dylan Gabriel. But I don't know. I just feel like there's something about this kid, right? And I hate to use it because it's stupid. I think it's kind of stupid to say, but the kid's they say he's got moxie, right? They say when the lights turn on, this dude wants to put on a show. I don't know, man. We've seen him play at UCF, and to be honest, the American is kind of getting to the point in the Big 12. So, dude, if he can do that same stuff, dude, I'm just excited to see him play in the Oklahoma uniform. I don't know, dude. There's just gonna be so much energy and excitement, I think, on Saturday. I think it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be a great time. But yeah, I really don't have anything else I'm looking forward to. I'm excited. I hope the Palace is packed out and we get to meet a great number of people. Great number of Sooner fans.
Sooner Nation, dude. We're coming out. Seems like so many people on Sooner Twitter are coming out. Can't wait to meet you guys. There's a tailgate going on. I think you got the details on that, so we can definitely head over to that as well. But hey, one more thing before we go in. One thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about was, let's kind of get we got the draft coming up in like what? 12 days?
Next weekend.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
So let's kind of get into the OU players that we have going in. It's kind of predict like what round we think they're going to go to. Maybe even like what team you think might be the best fit. Stuff like that. Like, what do you think? Like Gabe Burkich, first round, mid 15s, something like that. Just the swagger, the confidence alone.
I don't know, man. A lot of teams might take the Bengals route and draft a kicker.
Well, it freaking worked out for him.
It did work out for him. I think that the team that will probably try to go after Burkich might be the Packers because of Mason Crosby struggling a little bit with the kicks when they played Cincinnati, and plus he is getting a little bit up there in age, even though Adam Vinatieri kicked till he was 75. But
that him and Janikowski were just you can't compare anybody at all. They're just athletes. It's insane.
One player that I think will get drafted late, probably round 5 to 7. I think Jay Hall will actually get drafted.
Okay.
Because if you look at how the 49ers offense has been running here under Shanahan, he uses a fullback. And I think because the 49ers offense has been so dynamic and been able to move the ball really well on majority of the NFL defenses, I think some NFL offenses will take a chance on Jay Hall to make him an NFL player.
Yeah. Well, they do have Kyle Jacuzzik, or however you pronounce his name, right? Like,
Yep.
maybe you get someone young under him because he's 30, but it's just kind of like linemen. You kind of have to take care of your body if you're gonna excel for a while in the NFL for that one.
Mhm.
Okay, but one thing I definitely think was Perrion Winfrey, of course, Senior Bowl MVP. This dude freaking showed out, balled out at the Senior Bowl, even the combine. He sat there and impressed there as well. I think he was going in as like a third or fourth round. Um, I think he's an early second round pick, but possibly a late first round pick.
I'm right there with you. I think he's late first, early second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that the Steelers might take a chance on him. Possibly the Packers,
Buccaneers, maybe.
Buccaneers, maybe even the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of need for someone like him for sure right now because he's just one of those. It just seems like everyone has to be, man. Don't you just miss the old days where you could have a freaking fat defensive tackle, right?
Vince
Not
Wilfork,
super,
baby.
yeah, Vince Wilfork. Who was it? Trying to think of the other guy, the dude that played for played for LSU and he played for so long for the Bills. Can't remember his name, but he was a dude that had a little belly on him.
Are you talking about Kyle?
Yeah,
Played at Ruston, Louisiana.
yeah, that guy. But I just remember him. He had a little belly on him. It just missed that. But now you got Perrion Winfrey. You got these freaks that weigh like 270, 280, 290, and they have freaking ripped six packs. And you're like, that's your defensive tackle now, right?
Yep.
One person I'm excited to see is I think Nick Benito. I think has solidified himself as a first round pick now. Because again, he's not the biggest guy, but then you have someone like Micah Parsons from the Cowboys, kind of redefining this outside linebacker, pass rusher player, right? With you don't have to be big, you just got to be fast, but strong as hell with your legs, right? And that's exactly what Nick Benito is. I think he's coming in perfectly to where they're going to look at his size, but also his, his percentages, of like his sacks, but then also like pressuring the quarterback, all that. I think Nick Benito is definitely a first round pick, but I don't think he goes past 20. To be honest, I don't see how he could.
Yeah.
The amount of pass rushers needed.
I'm really interested in seeing where Brian Asamoah ends up. I think he is not first round, but I could see him being selected late second. I could see him being selected late second all the way to the end of the fourth. That's the range where I have him. But I think whoever does draft him is getting kind of a steal because he's got great speed.
Dude,
he ain't afraid to hit you in the mouth.
His freaking sideline to sideline speed is insane.
Yep.
Like it's insane. But I'm with you. I think third or fourth round. I think if you get him a third, it's a steal. If it's the fourth, I think that's when a lot of people have him on the board. I think. But I think he'll be someone that is going to shock a lot of the NFL, the whole league when it comes to his speed on the field. Because he's just a playmaker, man. He was involved in almost every single play last year for OU. But let me ask you this: staying on the defensive side, what about Isaiah Thomas? Do you think he's going to get drafted? I love the guy, right? Great size, but I don't know. If anything, maybe I don't know, fifth, maybe, but maybe sixth or seventh in my eyes. If he gets drafted,
if he gets drafted, it's late sixth, seventh round. My opinion, I think he goes undrafted and signs with the team.
Yeah, but I don't know, dude. For some odd reason, the team that's sticking in my head for Isaiah Thomas is the Patriots. I don't know why. I just feel like he's just the type of dude. He's a freaking smart, very smart guy. And I think that's exactly what the Patriots are wanting. And I know that's what you would love. Yeah,
you know me. I would love to have Ronnie Perkins and Isaiah Thomas being the two defensive ends for the Patriots.
Yeah, no, for sure. But for some odd reason, that's like the team I keep thinking there for Isaiah Thomas. But let's
I wish Bill Belichick would jump the gun and go get Dante Hightower's replacement with Brian Asamoah.
Yeah. Maybe JD just wants it. For people who don't know, JD's fantasy football name is the Foxborough Sooners. So he literally wants all Sooner fans on the Patriots. So, but hey, no, one thing, I'm just going to give you credit, dude. You surprised me. I thought when Brady left, you would kind of flake and just be like a flaky Patriot fan. No, you're there, man, because growing up, Patriots fan, Cavs fan. But when all the superstars leave, man, you're committed, man. You're committed. You were
I don't want to talk about the Cavs.
You were whining about the Cavs earlier today. Hey, so man, hey, I love it. I'm saying good for you, sticking with them, man.
I picked my team. I picked my teams when 5, 6 years old, and I've stuck with them.
Yeah, it's true.
It hasn't been hard, I'll say that. But
that's true. What is it? Yankees, Patriots,
Cavs.
And then, is that the only sport? I can't
That's
remember.
The professional sports ones.
It's been hard for OU fans. It's been hard for us at Oklahoma.
OU football fan, Louisiana Tech basketball. I attended Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, okay, there we
go. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Louisiana Tech ball, and I have been an LSU baseball fan since I can remember.
Oh yeah, no, we went to a lot of Alex Box games over at Alex Box Stadium for sure. Mm-hmm. I'm with you, dude. I pay attention to both OU, but then LSU baseball. But LSU is just a little bit easier to watch, to be honest with you. But anyone on the offensive side that you're thinking of? Because we have, Kennedy Brooks, right?
Well, I said Jay Hall. I said Jay Hall. I think that he's going to be a real contributor to someone who's going to implement more of a fullback role, Swiss Army knife kind of ordeal.
Yeah, maybe once Lincoln finally takes that NFL job, I'm sure he'll get a job signed as well. But what about Kennedy Brooks, dude? Like, I don't know.
That was the next person I was going to bring up. I think that he is a 5th round to 7th round guy, but he is a steal, in my opinion, on the sole fact that he has Le'Veon Bell patience, but he doesn't really. He has speed, but he's very deceiving. I think that he'd be a great fit. Possibly with the Chargers, in my opinion.
I'm in my head. I'm picturing, I'm picturing the Pittsburgh Steelers to play maybe behind Najee Harris, right? Because we all know how the NFL treats running backs nowadays.
I think Najee's a 3-down back. He ain't going nowhere.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying behind. Like, I'm not saying replace, but I'm saying the NFL treats these running backs with like 3 or 4 year, rookie deals, and after that they try to gyp them, right? Because we know how the wear and tear, right? But I'm thinking the Steelers, Chargers. I don't think would be a bad fit. But another one I'm thinking maybe would be is the Buffalo Bills. Like, I'm thinking, and the reason I say that is because
that'd be a real good one. Please don't draft him, but
but again, think about it, because the Bills, they're built to go behind the quarterback, Josh Allen, in the past game. But I think I'm not sure Kennedy Brooks will get drafted. But the stat that will make him get drafted, if he does, is going to be how apparently, I think I saw somewhere, he's never fumbled the ball and lost it his entire college career.
Yep.
And I think that's going to kind of raise some eyebrows a little bit. So that Mike Woods, I think, definitely gets drafted, probably 7th round there, receiver wise.
Mike Woods, in my opinion, is going to be one of those where everyone's like, "What?" when he gets drafted in the 5th round. And you know who I think would take a chance on him? The Patriots.
Oh, I thought you were going to say my New Orleans Saints.
Because
we need some people. I think the Saints might take a chance on him. But, dude, we're definitely going for receivers in that first round.
The reason why I say the Patriots is because from all the mock drafts I've been seeing, and all the podcasts I've listened to with the Patriots, they're really, really honing in on getting one of the Alabama receivers, Jameson Williams or Mechie.
Yeah.
If they can't take him with their first pick, they're probably going to go Nakobe Dean, and that opens up for a later pick where they can get a receiver. And I think Mike Woods is a
Slade Bolden, Alabama. You forgot that Alabama receiver that they're definitely keeping their
Get that
eyes
West
on.
Monroe product out of here.
Dude, I will never forget when I saw that dude come in
Bro,
in a stadium and replace. He just as a freshman, they just put him in at quarterback, and the dude just lit people up, dude.
Against John Curtis.
He's a hell of an athlete, like insane. Yeah. I'll never forget that. Oh man, yeah. What was it? That West Monroe kid broke his leg for like the third time.
Yeah, and they were playing John Curtis,
if you don't know, like probably the most, besides IMG Academy and like those California schools, probably the most prestigious high school football team ever, to be honest. Like most successful, like state championship wise.
I think they have more state championships than the Yankees have World Series.
Yeah, because didn't they have like 20? Last time I checked, it was like 21 of them, but they'd only been around for like 30-something years.
No, they have 29, I believe.
29. Yeah, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah,
and they've been around for like 40-something years.
Yeah, 30 years. Yeah, 40 years. That's what it was. That was an insane stat, but I feel like they've kind of fallen off a little bit. I don't know. Why are we talking about high school football again? I can't remember.
You brought up Slade Bolden.
Slade, I was like, how did we get to talking about John Curtis? But no, the Patriots need that short white receiver, and that dude's a freaking baller, for sure. But,
we would have had one if Bill would have kept on to Braxton Berrios.
Who?
White boy receiver for the Jets.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
Number 10. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I really don't have anything else to talk about. We just started talking about Louisiana high school football just now. So,
really excited about the spring game.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
We'd love to meet whoever wants to say, hey, don't be scared. We're very friendly.
That night, JD will be right here in this man cave, and we will be going over exactly what we think about the spring game that night. We'll have an episode dropping probably that Sunday morning as well. But we'll be driving from Tulsa, so we'll be recording later that night for sure. But other than that, guys, we're about to enter the new era. This is officially the entering of the new era of the Brett Venables legacy, I guess we can say, because hopefully he leaves a good one. We have a good taste in our mouths now, so we'll see kind of how Saturday goes. But I'm really looking forward to it. But other than that, guys, Dylan Marsh, JD Marsh, this is the Swampy Sooners podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Boomer.